God, we are we are getting better and better, Enrique.
Yeah, creating a bit more of expectation that I want to go live with this long countdown. So people, I know we are queuing people in front of the computer to see us now. So
No, it's good. It's good. I'm just, it's funny to see, thank you very much all for joining. We are on the sixth session and we still learning. I can just tell you
yes,
that each day or each webinar, which we are doing with Enrique, we learn something new and we're learning the new buttons, especially just to press or not press in the, the right sequence. So thank you very much for all joining us today. We had a good feedback from the last session, which is we have some couple of questions as well. So this is great. Talking about the questions, Enrique, what we have is I have the one questions. What is really the content of the readiness assessment? I think we can just cover it at the end if we will have a time. So I think
yeah.
that will be
Mhm.
good. There are a couple of the guys who are asking, which regions also we operate in which countries. That was also very good questions because I didn't know really how to answer because we can just if we can speak Polish, French, English, Spanish, so just whatever you
And
speak
if
this
not,
language.
we learn. If not, we will learn.
I try to learn German right now. That's not. I can tell you this.
You will need a couple of years to make the business in German.
But it's so. I think the beam will be faster than my learning German. myself learning German. Okay, so we are on our next six sessions. What we will be just talking today, Enrique?
Yeah.
What's your plan just to challenge me again?
So welcome everyone to the sixth episode. We are gonna today make a recap about the things we are covering. By the end of the season, the recap will be gone. So slowly gonna get bigger and bigger. Today we're gonna get a deeper knowledge about some technical aspect of BIM, which are the dimensions and the levels. So we're gonna see what are the dimensions of BIM and what are the levels of detail of BIM.
So what you're telling me that after the sixth session, I supposed to already remember all of the basics. So what is the
maybe not after the six, but soon, because you see this recap first one is growing and growing, and I know we have many people joining and joining. I don't want them to miss because for me it's important that you keep more or less a track of the things we are explaining through the webinar. So that's why I want to repeat myself with this visualization and information. I know that everyone knows this core two words from the BIM definition.
Okay,
But,
let's start.
yeah, so let's go there. Spend quickly 5 minutes going through this recap of what we saw since we start with the webinars. First of all, what is BIM? Building Information Modeling are the words behind this acronym, and this is the combination of the visualization and the information. We are delivering representation of virtual representation of 3D models for projects or objects with information inside. Okay, this is the main difference. This is not 3D design. It's not delivering documentation with some properties of the products is all together, okay? The visualization and the information all together. And the things which are not BIM, this is not a specific software. We said before, no 3D design. We also cover some aspect about how it can benefit other different departments of the business, like sales or marketing. So it's not only for the ASC sector, technical sector.
Mhm.
And the last and very most powerful word, the no unlinked data. Remember, this is a project who manage a resource methodology, which manage the whole life cycle of the project. And we are pulling data and managing through the whole life cycle of it. So it's important to have this linked data inside the project.
Right. So just I have a question saying just once on the meeting saying, we have right now implemented the Beam because we have the Revit solution installed, so
Mhm.
everything is clear. So that's not really what you just mentioned here, right? So just overall the implementing software solution will not put you into the reflection on how the building information modeling works in the company, right? That's not only the
Yeah,
one.
this is what we're gonna cover today. Actually, is depending about the dimension and the level of detail of the BIM. So if you want to go only for design, you have a certain dimension of services that BIM can provide you. If you want to go further, of course, you will need several different software or implementing new tools for them to keep going with the whole life cycle of the project. So
Got
good
it.
question, because just give me there the answer for today's topic.
Okay, thank you.
Good. So on the second session, we cover things about the what BIM offers in general scope about the project. We deliver the three different type of services: architectural, engineering, and the MEP, which are the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, on different installations on the project. The most likely solution to be used are the class detection to generate documentation as bill of material takeoffs, and the where we are talking now, the CD, remember this common data environment, and the life cycle assessment. So all these services and solutions implemented with the new methodology can lead to a reduced cost, to save time, and increment the productivity in a general scope of the project. Lately we cover who is BIM, deliver their five main actors, sorry, of the construction project, such as architecture, facility managers, investor, manufacturers, and engineers, and what are their main benefits to use BIM or reasons to use the BIM. Here, I will highlight the communication, coordination, and collaboration, which is mandatory and necessary between of them if they want to work under the BIM methodology. So those three C's are also part of the key definition of BIM, along with this visualization and information, because it's a methodology that requires communication, coordination, and collaboration between different parties to have a successful implementation.
So I think one of the questions which was also just asked on the last week, what is the successful implementation? What are the criteria to have the successful implementation, Enrique? I think this is what we need to put in one of our maybe discussion with one of the guests, which we'll have at the end of June. What is the successful implementation and what is not really, and how to approach it to make it quick and must take it, get it a most out of it.
Yeah, basically, as a quick draft, I will say you need a good communication, high level of coordination, and collaboration between all the parties involved. Because without those three C's, we cannot do a successful BIM implementation. BIM is not something that you will drive by yourself. You need more people within your firm, outside your firm, different partners to deliver a successful BIM project.
You're talking like a consultant, I think.
Yeah. I hear myself sometimes say, "Wow, I'm so boring." Now.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
Good. And lately, what we saw last week, those benefits we discussed beyond the technical aspect, how can help to the marketing, sales, HR departments, like everyone should be understanding and participant of the BIM technology. Display here some results of surveys that says things about how can you get some advantage in different departments. For example, increasing the productivity, giving a positive return on investment, decreasing time, saving time, cost and money, and so on. And very important also, those 7 main aspects for contractors or suppliers, where we can consider BIM in terms of drafting a marketing plan, reviewing our resources, or looking about the sales or customer relationship department. This is important also how it will affect in our company if we deploy, we implement BIM services.
Clear.
Perfect. So let's go and crack on today's topics. As I say, BIM levels and dimensions. This is more aspect about the technical definition of BIM, but it's important that people know about this as well, because when we want to implement BIM into a project, someone who knows about BIM and wants to work with us, say, okay, what level of BIM do you want? What dimension of BIM do you want? And you need to say, okay.
Enrique, just to make sure that I understood. So you said, okay, we know what is the beam, we know what are the really the criteria and how to use it, etc. And that's not only the pure technical aspect. So with the dimension level and dimensions, it just shows what the maturity of the implementation.
Yeah, that's a good word to define this, the maturity of implementation. How big we want to go, up to which point do we need to extract information from BIM. So we want to see, of course, this can have to focus. We can define the goal of the dimension of the level of detail up to the point where the project will finish, or this will evolve as well as the project evolves as well. So we are starting with a certain dimension and level of detail, and will be increasing as per our project evolves. So there's two different approaches to this, but we need to know the stages. So at the beginning, you cannot start, for example, trying to foresee estimations or cost if you have not your design in place. So this is go stage by stage. We'll see, right?
Okay.
We start with the levels of design, also called LOD. Sometimes I saw level of detail of also level of development. Okay, I would prefer to call it level of design, simple LOD at the end. So basically, amount of details included on the project or object. This small image I like it just give you a rough idea about what are the different stages of this LOD. Usually from 100 to 500. There's a couple of them more I saw somewhere around, but this is the main people scope that you can see how the project or the concept of the design of the project evolves from a a pre-designed draft up to the total as built of the project.
Okay.
Taking a look of all of them, we see the LOD 100, which is a pre-design stage. So we just sit and create a conceptual model that we have in our mind, put it on the paper or on the computer, and only have, let's say, illustrative of understanding purposes. So everyone are talking the same language and we are all defining the same objective on this project. Then when this is settled, we evolve to the LOD 200, which is a schematic stage. We are adding more information, we are adding more dimensions, but still it's not fully defined, it's not fixed, this is still evolving. We are still on the design phase. The next one, the design stage, is where we already settle and agree for the graphical representation of the project or model. We already know what concept we want to deliver and it's ready to be processed. This is not, that doesn't mean it won't allow changes. It means that it's gonna be there, defined, but of course ready to be implemented on the construction stage, which is the following one. LOD 400 is when we go for the construction, is when we add some also information for the products and the installation are already implemented.
The cat is coming.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Just one thing. It's just, can we have just something like between the two, between
Mhm.
the layers, the level of design? Because this is 500. You know, I just from the IT, I know when I put 300, 300, 400, I always think that can be the 320 or 330 and 300 something. So do
Exactly.
you have a different gray zones between these two?
Yeah, let me go one couple of slides more and you will see that those ones, okay? So the last one, as I said, is a LOD 500 when all the construction has been finished and we have the as-built stage. All the verification, operation, and latest change on the on site have been already implemented, and the full design is ready for the M&O operation of the life cycle of the project. Okay, and as
Uh,
you sorry,
we have the one questions
oh yeah.
from the here where I can find more details of level of design. Woo.
Mhm. More details level of design. We can find this, of course, Google online. We can take a look on the different blogs or YouTube channel. But we are gonna now release some videos going deeper into this topic. So, for example, if we have some of the people asking for the level of design, we can make a specific videos or clips talking deeper about this. So, thanks so much for bringing this up, and we can go deeper on the requirements about this project, about the
Okay,
project, sorry, about this level of design.
let me just put some notes on it. That's good.
Yeah,
Thank
completely. And now, just to summarize this level of design, I want to give you a quick draft. And what you said before, Pierre, I wanted to structure only this from 100 to 500 to make it nice and tidy. But of course, there is some between level. Let's say this one you asked before, the crucial stage between the when the design is done and when the construction is taking in place. There is one in the middle that we call LOD 350. Let's call it construction documentation stage, when the design is already agreed and where we add information for the coordination of services and the implementation of all the installation. So let's say that this one is when we agree with design, we take in all the information, let's say in installation instruction or handling for the materials, and we deliver all together. This is an intermediate stage between, and of course you can have more of them, defining your own level of design along the project.
okay, thank
Mhm.
you.
And likely this 600, 700, other ones that we can see when the construction is finished, are if we start to do this managing of the life cycle of the project. So we can monitor all the behavior, implement more data, do the operations, environmental stuff of services, and so on.
Interesting. Okay, so that's okay. Good questions
Mhm.
from this where to find more details, and I think we this is the good this is the good idea just for us just to go into some more of this in one of the shorter
Mhm.
videos. We can prepare it. Very
This
good.
is Doing this research, I would like to say this person who was Jan, that is a bit is not a common understanding of this in terms of this number of a level of detail or so on. That's why I add all of the one I saw. Sometimes you see a scale, you see up to 100 to 400. Other times you see the 350, the 250. Other times you go up to 700. That's why I try to put it all together in a nice pack, 100 to 500, but adding these two intermediates or extra stages at the end. So depending the source you see, you will see maybe more details focus on one part or not. This is why
Okay.
also it's important to sit down with the BIM coordinator at the beginning of the project and define the level of design that we want to follow on our project.
Yeah, it's interesting because the BIM coordinator is just it's for sure it's a job which you will have it in the big companies. But if you have the company of 30 people or 40 people, I think you will not have the BIM coordinator. So we need to think about it as well. That's
Yeah.
also come to my mind, how we will talk to the different company size, right? We have experience with the big one, but maybe there is something which is we need to think, how to really do this for the smaller companies.
That's why it has an impact also on the HR department. For example, if we decide to implement BIM in our company, we need to look at our resources, our personnel, see if there is people inside the company which are able to take those roles, if they need information, or we need to bring them over.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but if you have the 50 people company, I don't think so that you have the HR department, okay? So in our telco advisors, we know that how we don't have the HR department, for example, right? So just we
Mhm,
dealing all of ourselves with all of the stuff which we coming with the people coming and going, etc.
mhm,
So it's just the size of it, right? And so we using some of the tools which we implemented, right? Anyway, that's a good point. I think the size of the company matter here in
mhm,
the way how you can do it.
mhm. Perfect. All good. So I hope it's clear with the level of design. And we're gonna jump on the second one, which is the dimensions of BIM. Okay. On these ones, we are not talking about the model itself, just about the services we can get from BIM. So it's a more general scope of the whole project, not just the what is actually the visualization and information design. This is seeing the whole project as a full machine running, let's say. So the dimensions are represented by a D. We can go some stages same as LOD. I saw during my research and studies and experience, I saw 1D, 2D, but this is basically pre-concept design. No one will achieve or aim for those ones because it's things that you can do with a paper and hand and paper. So let's go from 3D, I will say, up to 7D. So design, scheduling, estimating, sustainability, and maintenance, the level of evolution where BIM can grow within a project. This doesn't mean that our goal needs to be on 7D. We can set our goal with BIM with 3D. Then for the next project, we have successful inputs. We can go for the 4D and produce some materials, some scheduling, some costers, go for 5D and so on.
Wow.
Sounds
So
complicated here.
so yeah, no, I think it did. I think in our company we are on the 2D for some of us, so I think that's good. Okay,
Of
fantastic.
course, yeah, companies who have not BIM implementation yet, they don't even they have no data or dimensions on the BIM maturity inside the project. No, so it's important when you put the implementation of BIM to reach at least the 3D, the design stage, because you want to produce objects or services in BIM. So this is at least the minimum requirement. Of course, BIM, where the most help is going to be is on the design phase. We are focusing and shifting all the efforts on the design phase, so we don't make more mistakes and we save time and money on those mistakes when we go to site and produce and do some orders and make the work itself. So the design stage is the key one where we start from it.
Okay, very good.
Good. So let's take a look quickly about the details of all of them. As I said, 3D design, sorry, three dimension 3D is the design of the shape of the project. So we're going to focus on the geometry, the aspects of what is being represented. This is our object of our project. Here, the requirements or the benefits I will get from BIM on this stage are going to be mostly for the design. So here, the LOD and the 3D dimensions are going to work together because they are connected. They will say it's pretty much the same thing. But now, if we evolve for the 4D, we're talking about scheduling. It's called So we're going to implement information. We're going to, with all that information and data we put inside, we're going to evaluate some aspects of the project. We're going to run some simulations, and we're going to see if our design is doable. We're going to see if there is some potential clashes, if there is some potential problems, or some number doesn't work out, no, stuff like that. And the next stage, 5D, is estimation. When we have all those information and tests, let's say, run on place, and we agree with the design and their consequences, we can deliver some cost estimation, bill of material, on other types of documentation extracted from BIM. So let's say we have a certain level of maturity. I know, for example, in the UK, they call it level of maturity from from 1 to 0, 1, 2, and 3. Let's say that these three dimensions, 3D, 4D, and 5D, they are the minimum the minimum requirements to deliver a maturity level 2, which are the projects today we run on the street in BIM. At least we need to provide the design, we need to make sure that it works, and we need to deliver cost, documentation, times, and so on. So these three, they are different stages, but they should be let's say the ultimate goal for today's technology, where all the companies who run with me, they all today have all these three dimensions in place.
Okay, clear. That's no questions from me from my side.
Good.
That's easy. Yeah, you did a good job. So
So next, for the last two ones, these are a bit above what I said before. So when the construction is finished, when we already implement our project or product in place, we have still going some information or thing that we can get from BIM. Remember, managing the life cycle of the project. We are not stopping when the product is finished. Okay, fine, I did my work, bye. No, we keep monitoring this, and we kept having valuable insight or advantage from BIM. For example, 6D, sustainability. Here, when the project is already running, we can still monitor the energy analysis, environmental data, to see if the construction is really behaving as we expected, or if there is some operation and maintenance that need to take in place, see how they need to be done, because sometimes all the calculation, they are not expected, or the building doesn't behave as you expected or estimate on the previous stages. And our next one, which is the latest today, is the 7D, Facility Management Application. This one is already related. We manage the whole life cycle of the project, and we define the strategies. One, the analysis of environmental data, energy, sustainability, and so on is being carried out in place with the building or the project already running. We define the strategy and the plans for the operation and maintenance of this project until its demolition, stop of services, renewal, and so on. So it's sort of see how it works and define a plan to maintain this level or improve it during the lifetime of the cycle of the project.
it's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, in theory, it's pretty obvious. No? So for people who have not been, of course, this is too early. This is too early. Sorry, too far. We cannot achieve this at the beginning. We need still years of projects of practice to reach certain levels of maturity, 3D, 4D, 5D. As I say, that's going to be our goal on medium term and long term, having this data to manage its sustainability, facility management, and so on.
But one of the things, excuse me, one of the
Yeah,
things which when you go back for a second,
yeah,
uh,
sorry.
I just don't get it why the sustainability is a 6D and the facility is 7D, because you will have on the facility management application, you will have also the sustainability. So I'm not sure that I understood that.
Yeah, it's related. It's true that it's related, but we need to see it from when the construction is done. We have the as-built project in place. If we're talking about a building, for example, first we do the same analyzing how it is behaving, and for that we take all the data, we analyze with testing on site if the efficiency of the energy efficiency is the same as expected, if the emissions or how the building behaves or works is the same as expected, and all this analyzed, let's say gathering of data or making those testing on place, they are the 6D, monitoring, gathering all the data. And when we have all this information, we design the plan or the strategies to carry out operational maintenance of lifecycle management of the project. So it's defined in two stages. Let's say prepare, the 6D will be a preparation for the 7D. Not we need to get this data and observe the actual and present installation to see if we what kind of plans we need to deliver to its proper functionment on the future.
We have 4 minutes to go, my dear. So
Oh
just when
my,
you sorry for I will stop asking the questions. Sorry, sorry.
this is done. This is done. No worries. Just display here a quick summary of what we just talked, level of dimensions, level of detail, sorry, and the bit dimensions, 100 to 500, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ds. Remember, this doesn't go together. It's not the same thing, but they are related. And the most important thing, don't get overwhelmed and try to go for LOD 570 in our first project. We need to go slowly. First achieve the 3D, first deliver construction documentation of BIM services on LOD 300, 350, aiming to 400, 500, and slowly we implement it and make it bigger.
Okay, and this is Enrique who say that we're supposed to go slowly. Okay, I just okay, hear you.
Good. So that's all for today. So next episode topics we have in mind: BIM implementation plan, talking about the BIM libraries. So any other topics, I talk to the audience directly. If you have any questions, concerns, doubts about this, let us know. Contact us. We are planning also to have some people collaborating with us on the weekly talk. So if you are interested, you know someone, or you just want to make questions live, let us know. Contact us, and we can make this collaboration happen.
All right, and again the same thing. I'm just if you have any people who just you think it will be worth to invite and just to start to
Mhm,
talk and chatting about it, just let us know. I
mhm.
think we will just get the people on board and try just to convince them to get it. If you would like just to book the meeting with us, that's the way and the best way just to do this because that's the online calendar which you can see it. Just no particular obligation on your side. It just you will be able to see it, our agenda, and just to connect with us again. Free of charge. We just, I think we try just to do the evangelist. We try to do the evangelists, be evangelist of the in Europe. We're going right now through France, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, Benelux, and just I think we will just go into the UK very soon. So I think that will be the good way to do this. The language we are just going for Polish, Spanish, French, and English. German in next 5 to 10 years for me. So it's just potentially
Hopefully,
the
probably
long.
maybe 20 years. Swedish, Finnish, Norwegian.
Okay. Okay, that's it, I think, from on our side. Oh, we don't want to just talk about the beam readiness as well.
Yeah, that's all for guys joining. The next week, Friday, 3rd of June, we're already close to the summertime. So,
3rd of June at 10 o'clock.
mhm,
My God, that will
mhm.
be already the. No, it's not summer. Good. Enrique, thank you very much for having the chat today. Just thank you very much for the questions, thumbs ups. I see that we are on the different platforms thanks to this magic tool which we are using. So we are on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on the different channels. Wow. And I'm just sometimes overwhelmed with the different comments, etc. I don't know how to manage them still. So just
Yeah.
on session 22, 25, I think I will know where to click it.
One day we're gonna make one session before we finish this season, gathering all the comments and do like okay Q&A session. So
That's a good one. Oh my God, you're just a good Friday. Thank you very much, Enrique. Have a great
happy
day.
Friday, everyone. Okay,
Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you very much.
bye.
Bye bye.